Good morning, students. Today we are going to study colloidal solution. From previous classes discussion, we have a brief idea about three different types of solution. One is true solution, another one is colloidal solution, and last one is your suspension. Now regarding colloidal solution, we have idea that the particles in the colloidal solution, their size ranges in between true solution and suspension. This means the particle of colloidal solution, they are larger than true solutions, and the size of the particles is smaller than that of suspension. Now you see, this is, you can see this picture. This is an example of a colloidal solution. Now first of all, we need to know what is a colloidal solution. So from the definition, we can see that a colloidal solution is a mixture in which the substances are regularly suspended in a fluid. Whatever be the particles, they are suspended in a fluid, or we can say in the solvent in terms of solution. Some examples are written here, say for example foam, emulsion. These are examples of colloidal solution. Okay. Now you see, the particles of a colloid, they are uniformly spread throughout the solution. From the picture itself, you can see that how the particles are uniformly distributed in the whole solution. You can see in the picture. Now, since their size is smaller than that of suspension, the mixture appears to be homogeneous. Now, you see, this is a very important point in colloidal solutions. The colloidal solution, since the particles of the colloidal solution they are smaller in size than that of suspension, the solution actually appears to be homogeneous. It seems to us that a colloidal solution is homogeneous, but actually a colloidal solution is a heterogeneous mixture, and this is a very important point. You should note this thing, and this is a very crucial thing. So from here we can say that a colloidal solution is a heterogeneous mixture, not homogeneous. Say for example milk, foam, gel. These are examples of colloidal solution. Now since the size of particles is very small, we cannot see the colloidal particles with our naked eye. Okay, the particles cannot be seen with our naked eye. And these particles, though they are small, but still they scatter beam of visible light. Now in this picture, see the picture which is above in the upper side, we have already discussed this picture. Okay, and from here we can see that out of the three bottles, the pathway of light is visible in the third bottle. Okay, and the light is visible in the third bottle. The reason is that the size of the particles is significantly larger than that of the first bottle. Okay, that's why we can see the pathway of light, and this effect of colloidal solution is known as Tyndall effect. We have already discussed these points. Okay, so what is Tyndall effect? Tyndall effect is the scattering of light by particles in a colloid or else particles in a very fine suspension. Is that clear? The particles which is present in a solution, if their size is significantly larger than that of true solution, the particles, they scatter the beam of light, and this scattering phenomenon is known as Tyndall effect. Now see, in example it is written, it can be observed when sunlight passes through the canopy of a dense forest. The picture which is on the below, this picture is shown as the picture of a dense forest. Now here we can see the sunlight is coming towards us, and the light is getting scattered. Now who is scattering this light? The dust, the mist that is present in the atmosphere, they are scattering the beam of light. Okay. Now see what is written here in the next point. Tyndall effect can also be observed when a fine beam of light enters a room through a small hole, and this happens due to the scattering of light by the particles of dust and smoke in the air. And this is the picture you can see. This is a picture of a projector. So when light in the dark room, we can see the pathway of light. Okay, we can see the pathway of light, and the pathway of light, these are visible only because some dust particles are present in the room. If say for example, if there is no dust present in the room, there is no smoke or air is present in the room, then this pathway would not be observed. Okay, so this scattering phenomenon is known as Tyndall effect, and colloidal solution shows this effect. True solution, they does not show Tyndall effect. Colloidal solutions, they show Tyndall effect. Now we must know what are the properties of a colloid. Now see, very first and very important point is a colloid is a heterogeneous mixture. A colloid is a heterogeneous mixture. It appears to be homogeneous, but actually it is a heterogeneous mixture. Next point, the size of particles of a colloid is too small to be individually seen by naked eyes. We can see the particles of a suspension, but we cannot see particles of colloid since their size is too small to be seen by naked eye. Next point, colloids are big enough to scatter a beam of light passing through it and make its path visible. This means they are speaking of, here we are speaking of Tyndall effect only. So from these 2 points, we can say that the particles of a colloid is so small that we cannot see with our naked eye, but their size is this much larger that it can scatter a beam of light. Okay. Next point is they do not settle down when left undisturbed. That is, a colloid is quite stable. Okay. So say for example, if we speak of milk, does that happen that when we said keep milk for maybe for 8 or 10 hours, have you observed ever that the milk particles, they are settled down and the water is floating above? No, it doesn't happen. So colloids are quite stable. They do not settle down when left undisturbed. This thing happens in case of suspension. When a suspended solution is kept for undisturbed, the particles, they get settled down. And next point is they cannot be separated from the mixture by the process of filtration. When we filter a colloid solution, nothing is separated. Okay. So for separation of colloidal solution, a very well-known method is used, and that method is known as centrifugation. That method is known as centrifugation. Now, you see here, if I ask you to prepare copper sulfate solution, so what will you do? You will take some amount of copper sulfate solid and you will dissolve it into water. So our copper sulfate is solute and water is the solvent. And when you mix these two, we will get copper sulfate solution. Similarly, in case of colloidal solution, the term solute and solvent, they has been changed by dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Okay, the solute-like particle which is dissolved in some liquid, that solute-like particle is known as dispersed phase, and the medium in which that particle is dissolved is known as dispersion medium. Now we see colloids are classified according to the state. They are classified as solid, liquid or gas depending upon the dispersion medium and dispersed phase. Okay, dispersion medium is equivalent to solvent and dispersed phase is equivalent to solute. And these are some of the examples, and you must remember all these examples. These are very, very important from examination point of view. Okay, so dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Okay, you can see in the first point, liquid is dissolved in gas. When liquid is dissolved in gas, that is known as aerosol, and when solid is dissolved in gas, that is also known as aerosol. So it is very easy to remember. When the dispersion medium is gas, aerosol is produced. Okay, so example of liquid in gas is fog, clouds, and example of solid in gas is smoke, automobile exhaust. Okay, you can see the fourth point. This is very important. This is emulsion. And how emulsion is formed? when both dispersed phase and dispersion medium is liquid. When both dispersed phase and dispersion medium is liquid. And very common example of emulsion is milk. You must remember, milk is a colloidal solution. And what type of colloidal solution? Milk is an emulsion. Okay. Similarly, you can say, see here, gel. When liquid is dissolved in solid, when liquid is dissolved in solid, we get gel. For example, butter, cheese, jelly. And last one, you see, when solid is dissolved in solid, we get here solid salt. For example, colored gemstone, milky glass. These are examples of solid salt. Okay. So I hope the whole scenario of colloidal solution is very much clear to you everyone. Okay. If you have any doubt, do ask me. Definitely. Thank you everyone.